Well, welcome everyone. We're here to talk about our genealogical program at the University of Strathclyde, and it's great to see so many of you interested in the program. I'm going to cover not only the postgraduate program, but also the beginner to intermediate stages that we offer, as well as touch briefly on some of the other opportunities that we have for students. So without further ado, we'll get started. So our genealogical studies program we really offer a variety of educational pathways. The center has been offering genealogical courses for well over 15 years, and I'm happy to say that the postgraduate program is entering its 11th year. But we do have a variety of ways to learn about genealogy. We do the 8-week online courses, and these are also campus-based. So if you're in Scotland, in the local area, come along to campus and see us. These are at the beginner to intermediate level, and we have a range of people who come onto these, from absolute beginner up to people who've been doing genealogy for a good long time. So we're happy to see everybody, really. Then we have the postgraduate program, which is offered in 3 steps, all of which fold together to create the total master's degree course. I'll talk about that in a second. All of these steps are online, so you don't need to come to campus. And we're in the process of developing some webinars that we're hoping to have up and running sometime in 16-17. So if you're interested in those, come and check out the website. We'll also be putting out some information on that in various media outlets. We'll probably do some genetic genealogy, is one of the topics we're particularly interested in doing some continuing professional development around. So moving on to our beginner and intermediate courses. These, as I say, are all offered online, and they can be taken for credit, although you don't have to do this. They start 3 times a year, October, January, and April. But you can register for any of those at the moment. Registration is now available, and that's can be done online, or you can give us a call as well. Most of these courses do have a Scottish focus, but they also cover UK-wide sources. And then, as you see, we've got the Intro to Genetic Genealogy, which is of interest to people worldwide. But all of the courses can really be of interest to people from around the world. So the entry requirements for these, we really don't have any. I would say that if you're wanting to do the Beyond the Basics course, it would help with that if you do have familiarity with the basic Scottish records, birth, marriage, death, and census records, because that course really goes on and covers things like land records and military records. That we don't touch on the classic beginner primary records in that class. However, it will help if you're familiar with using the internet and if you have a reasonably strong connection, because the whole course uses the university's virtual learning environment, which I have to say is different from the Future Learn environment, but it's still pretty easy to use. Basically, you log in and then you look at the learning materials, which consist of a variety of written lectures that you download. We have recorded, narrated PowerPoint presentations like you've seen on the Future Learn course. There's forums, and the tutor will ask questions, and there'll be little research assignments to do. And the assignments, I have to say, are all optional, but if you do want to get credit for the class, you need to do the assignment. So as you can see, the cost for 16-17 is £159 per 8-week course. And if you want more information on those, there's lots of details about what each course covers. Our website has information on that, and you can register online. Registration just started a little over a week ago, so that's easy to do. So moving on to the postgraduate program, we're really focused heavily in this section on expanding our students' skills in research. We get people to consider the validity of the information that you found, and we're really interested in how you communicate to your clients, because we are interested in making people into professional level genealogists. Whether you're interested in becoming a professional genealogist or not, that's the level at which we're hoping to shape you. And I have to say, probably a quarter of students come onto the course who aren't interested in becoming professional genealogists. They're serious hobbyists. But we welcome everybody, no matter why they're wanting to come on. So as I said, the program's broken into 3 steps, and these together form the total MSc degree. So the primary step is the postgraduate certificate, and really you can think of that as a third of the total MSc degree. This, we focus very heavily on UK records with a real balance between Scottish and English. We touch on Irish, and we also get into immigration records, and as part of that we look at Canadian and American records. And our goal here on the certificate is to give you a breadth and a depth in British records and research, while teaching you how to communicate and consider your research. Then the diploma moves on and extends into areas beyond the United Kingdom. So we get into Australia, New Zealand, the British Empire, Canada, US. We also go into different time periods than we look at on the certificate. So get into medieval records, and then we look more at genetic genealogy, which is also covered on the certificate, I should say. So the diploma and the MSc step also allows the student to choose a focus in a research project. So if your focus is on something in Australia, say, then you could focus on that particular area or record set. So the third step is the MSc, which is the dissertation, and the student chooses that topic. And we've had wide-ranging topics in the past, from asylum records in Western Australia to people looking at methodologies in using autosomal DNA testing, to bigamy in Scotland, and considering how all of those topics relate to genealogy. So it's really quite exciting what the students are doing. Some great research going on. So looking further at the different program steps, the certificate you can take in 2 ways, and really I would say most people have to begin at the postgraduate certificate. This really forms the backbone of the teaching element of the master's degree. Having said that, you can come directly onto the diploma if you have something that's an equivalent of our postgraduate certificate. So the Institute of Heraldic and Genealogical Studies does a higher certificate, and this is an equivalent roughly to our postgraduate certificate. There's a couple of other entities and ways that you can bypass the certificate, but I would say most people do need to do the certificate. So this is the foundation step, really. So you can do it in two ways. You can do it in 1 year, and that we would roughly tell people, based on what our students tell us, that it's about 20 hours a week. Though I would say probably a lot of weeks you'll not need that many hours. Or you can do it in a modular fashion over 2 to 3 years, and that's roughly about 14 hours a week. So it just depends on how much time you have in your life. The diploma, at the moment, we only are offering that over 1 year, although we're looking at breaking it down into a modular mode, and hoping to have that available from the next academic year. And you'll see that's around about 20 hours a week. Then if you're doing the 3-level bit, then the MSc, which is the diploma, the dissertation part of it, the hours really vary on this depending on where you're at in the year, how much research you're doing. So it's hard for me to tell you how much. So really, you can do the entire program from 3 to 5 years, or this year is the first year that we have our full-time MSc running. And what we've done is we've combined all 3 steps into 1 year, and this is very much a full-time course. See, it's 35 to 40 hours a week. That is starting earlier in the year, starts in September. So I would say don't only consider doing that if you're not working because really there just won't be enough time to do that. So, yeah. So we're delivering the course entirely online, although we do have a couple of get-togethers throughout the year, which are optional. We do use the university's virtual learning environment, and the next slide I've got a screenshot of what that looks like. So again, the materials have written lectures. We do multimedia presentations. I will say the discussion forums are really quite active on the certificate in particular. And we do optional real-time chat sessions with students that are recorded, so you can watch them later, and these are optional, really. Everybody's assigned a tutor, and that person gives you feedback and support. And we don't do any exams, you'll be happy to know. The assessment for across all three of the steps is really quite practical in nature, aside from the research projects, and we get you to write up an academic style paper for those. So, but a lot of the projects are really focused around genealogical topics and how a genealogist can use sources and that kind of thing. So moving on to the example of our VLE, this is from one lecture, if you like, one section of the certificate, and it's looking at demography in particular. So you can see the little links here. There's a link to the text-based lecture. For all of these, we've written lectures, if you like, that range in size from 3 pages up to 45 pages. We try to give you lots of visual examples within the lecture and that kind of thing. Then we record all of the lectures, and so you can listen to them while you're doing the dishes or commuting or whatever you like. Then for a good variety of them, as I say, we've created these multimedia presentations. A lot of these are created by the course team. In this case, it's an academic who's come across from Edinburgh University, and she's discussing historical demography. So that's just an example of what you might come across. And obviously this, I've logged in here, you can see my name up on the right-hand corner. So this is just a general idea. This is the same platform that's used on the intro classes as well as the postgrad classes. So reasonably easy to use once you get your head around it. So because it's all online, you're going to need some reasonably good IT, reliable computer, and the course is standardized on PCs. Although having said that, we have had a number of students use Macintosh, Apples in the past, but for support-wise, we are able to help people on PCs. That's largely what the university uses. You will need a reasonably good internet connection, although again, having said that, we have had folks out in the wilds of Argyll with rather dodgy internet connections, so they say, do the course, so yeah. You'll need to be able to run various applications, Adobe Connect, Adobe Reader. I mean, there's nothing that's terribly obscure that we get you to use, and you will need to subscribe to some databases. We ask that you have a worldwide subscription to Ancestry, and we do try to get some free access for various databases for postgraduate certificate students, though we can't say that we will have these for sure. Every year we're talking to the companies involved and getting these arranged. So, and then you need to be able to use genealogical software. If you've not used that in the past, a chunk of the beginning of the certificate is getting people knowledgeable on how to use that. And we use Family Tree Maker, excuse me, on the course as the standard. We've got a range of step-by-step guides and that kind of thing. So, I mean, you can use other software programs. It's just Family Tree Maker is the one that we help students out with. So. Okay, so moving on to the entry requirements. Normally, we require a degree or some evidence of study skills. And we don't, I have to say, we don't really care what your an undergraduate degree or other degree is in. Really, we use that to know that you have study skills at the level of postgraduate study. But we will seriously consider non-standard educational qualifications. And then every year we have a number of students coming on who don't have an undergraduate degree, but have done, say, training through work, or have done enough genealogical research and can show us their projects that they've created, and have people to say that, yes, you know, this person has gotten work in on time. I believe that they're capable of communicating and thinking and having the time to work at that level. So we're very, very happy to work with you and to figure those things out. So experience in genealogical research is really required. However, if you're a historian or a librarian, and you've done research for people, then we'll certainly consider that too. We like folks who've used a reasonable range of sources, and who have a reasonable level of comfort with communicating results. Although you in no way need to be a professional genealogist already to come onto the course. Let's see, I was going to say something else here, and can't remember what it was at the moment. Anyway, I'll come back to that if I remember that. So looking at the fees for the postgraduate courses, for next year we've got certificate and diploma for each year of these. It's just over £3,000 if you're resident in the UK or the EU. International, we charge a bit more. And then if you're looking at doing the certificate per module, you just have to pay per module. So it's another reason we've added this is because it's easier for people to swallow the fees module by module. Then for the MSc year, if you're doing the MSc as a post diploma year, then as all you're doing in that year is the dissertation, it's a little less. And if you're doing the full time, you can see it's basically all 3 years rolled up into the fees. Now the university ups their fees every year, so this is just the fees for the 16-17 year. At the moment, if you're resident in England, you can apply for student loans for the full-time MSc. And a couple of our full-time students are also using the professional and career development loans available. So the university's student finance office will be able to help you out with other scholarships too. There's potential that other things might apply, and so yeah. Okay, so on our website, we've got a reminder to let us know if you want more information. If you go back to step 6.8, you can register your interest, not just in the MSc program, but also in the 8-week courses and other things that we offer. So just if you are interested, just go ahead and do that. And you can always unregister at any point after we start sending you emails. So that's fine. So, and just to say, on our website, we've got a lot more information. The timetables for academic year 16-17, a couple of frequently asked questions documents, and a lot more explanation of what we have to offer. My email address is also there, so if you want to shoot me an email, please feel free. Though I am going to be on holiday in a couple of weeks, so so thanks for watching that. We're gonna move over and take a couple of questions now. Excellent. So just looking at a couple of questions from the course discussion forums. Firstly, whilst my handy assistant is downloading some information that are from off of the live step, Jeanette McCarthy had a question about commitment to weekly online tutorials, and she lives in Australia. The weekly online tutorials are just for the full-time MSc course, and they're mandatory really for those students. I have to say it would be a challenge if somebody coming in from Australia on to that level, but we would work our best to try to find a time that works. For the certificate and diploma levels, the real-time chat sessions are optional, and we do record those, so you can watch them at any time. If you work your way through the program and you go on to the MSc by dissertation year, then we do have mandatory one-to-one sessions between the students and the tutors, and we do our best to find a time that works. One of my students this last year was based in Australia, and she and I made it work. We swapped back and forth for having a cup of coffee and me having a cup of wine, and and swapping back and forth. So between our respective mornings and evenings, and it worked just fine. So T. Prentice has a question. Oh yeah, a question about coming on at the diploma level. So I answered that a bit through the presentation, but yeah, just I would say probably get in touch. We have in the past taken on folks who have a lot of experience, but basically what you need to do is show us that you have knowledge of the various sources, and for both England and Scotland, it's as well as genealogy, etc., etc. So see, it's not an easy thing to show us that you have enough information to come onto the diploma. But get in touch if that you think that applies. So Jacqueline Davis was wondering about 3 years for the full qualification. Yes, if you're doing it on the part-time version, but if you want to do full-time, you can do it in the 1 year. So yes, suggested time of 20 hours a week, it seems like an awful lot. Yeah, that's, I would say that our students are really passionate about their subject, as you all are proving through the wonderful comments on the course. Many of them spend, I would say, probably slightly more time than they actually need to on the courses, and in particular the assignments. You get your teeth into a research question and you just continue following it, where really you probably could have cut off 3 hours and still gotten a passing mark. So we continually tell people to watch their time management and ask their tutors if they they think they're going over the top. So 20 hours is really what students have told us that they're finding, but I think you could probably get by with a little less. So Claire Becker was asking about university qualifications, professional involvement. Again, I discussed a bit of that on the run through that I just did. We do seriously try to work with people to make it possible to come on. The other thing that you can do is take one or more of the 8-week courses that we offer, do those for credit, and that means doing the assignments and passing those successfully. And that shows us, A, that you have the study skills required, and also that you have the genealogical background. So that's a good way to get around some of those issues of not being able to show us that you have study skills and that kind of thing. So, so yes, okay. David Brown's asking about work-based learning. Now, and assessing suitability for entry requirements. Now, the work-based learning, that was just one example. A lot of people have done training through work that we would certainly look at. If you have been out of work for a good long while, probably what I would suggest doing is potentially look at doing one of the 8-week courses, or possibly doing a course through a different provider, such as Pharaoh's. They have some shorter courses that also have assignments along with them, and we've certainly taken people on off the back of those who don't have formal requirements. So really, the basic thing is we're looking to see if you're going to be comfortable on the programs and you're not going to be overwhelmed, because that's not good for anyone, the student or the tutor who's trying to help you out. So, so Brian Cook's asking about payment for the 8-week courses, including access to the Scottish records. No, we don't give you access to the Scottish record databases with the 8-week courses. Although on the postgraduate programs, we try to get a number of credits through Scotland's People for those courses, but we can't guarantee those. So no, the 8-week courses don't. You need to pay for those yourself. So. Let's see. Oh, Jim. Yeah, sorry. I'm just going to go back to one from the course here. Jim Gritton was curious about how our degree is different from the MLit in Family and Local History at the University of Dundee, who also, I mean, it's a great program that Dundee offer. And again, I've not been through their program, so I can't speak to it from personal experience. All I know is really what I see on their website and what students tell me about the course. And so some of the differences are that on our course, you don't really have the ability to pick and choose between modules. We require that you undertake everything that we have to offer, and really this gives you a good balance between English and Scottish if you're taking the certificate courses, records and research background, whereas at Dundee you can pick and choose. If you just want to do Scotland or just do England, you can do that. We think it's a good thing for researchers to have knowledge of both countries really and beyond. So that's why we require people to take everything, if you like. My sense of Dundee's course is that it's more focused around the archives and local history to a degree, whereas our course is very much focused at trying to get people ready for professional level practice. Again, whether or not you're going to go on and be a professional genealogist or not. We do have sections on genetic genealogy, paleography, etc. So we're really trying to gear you up for becoming a professional level genealogist. So, but yeah, I would say, you know, chat to the folks at Dundee. It is a very good course. It's just, I think we've got different, you know, slightly different things that we're focusing on. So, right, Alan McBain, as I'm just checking out the question here. Standards. Alan, yeah, I'm just looking at the list of things that you have down, and yeah, I would have a look at that, and I would say yes, that would be enough non-standard experience to start the postgraduate certificate. So Alan has an HNC in computing. He's been working in IT for a number of years and has been researching for a number of years as well, doing research for other people, and has worked as a genealogist for a particular clan. So yeah, no, Alan, I would definitely consider you able to start on the postgraduate certificate. Yeah, sure. Why not? I'll look out for your name on our on our list of applicants. So that's all the questions that I have on my wee list. Maybe there's a couple of others that have come in. No? Okay, great. Well, just to encourage, to encourage you all to get in touch if you do have questions. We are, you know, keen to answer questions about both the postgraduate, but also the 8-week beginner to intermediate courses. We're proud of what we have to offer, and we're always looking to get ideas of further things that we can offer as well. So if you have ideas of courses that we should offer, please also get in touch about that too. So thank you all for taking part, and yeah, it's great. Have a good rest of your afternoon.